Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the instant match reaction. Everton have done the unthinkable and managed to get a point at Manchester City. Big point that today, considering West Ham got beat last night and Southampton lost today, and Bournemouth, I think, have lost as well. Big point that, and listen. Can you sit here and say it was a well-deserved point? I don't know. It's a well-deserved point. We had possession-wise, something like 25% possession or 26%. But you know what? One thing I would say is Everton always look better when they have to defend, as in, like, the game plan is defending. They always look better. Last season, that was what got us over the line, with obviously goals. And this season, I said this the other day, we've been trying to play a far too much of an expansive game that leaves us prone to losing games, essentially. Whereas today it was a case of being back to the wall, knowing you ain't going to have the ball. And I think we got it mostly right in terms of defending. It does make me laugh when people go, oh, you should have had more faith that they'd get something. Behave yourself. Behave yourself. We're just being beaten by Wolves and Bournemouth and Leicester. And people are like, you should have more faith. Behave yourselves. Behave yourselves. Faith is absolutely nothing but a construct that is made up by people to think that there's better things out there. In the harsh reality of the day, you go to Man City and you expect to get beat after just being beaten by Wolves. But listen, we defended really well. And listen, I can't sit here and say we deserved the point. But Man City had 3 shots on target all day, which means we defended really well. And the only chance we had, we took. And that's it. That's it, isn't it? And if that's enough to deserve a point, then we deserve the point. Our goal was absolutely incredible. Damari Gray, once again, shown what he is capable of if he just gets the ball out of his feet and has a crack. And it was our one chance of the day. We took it, and it was fantastic. And when we had to go back into our defensive shape late on, everybody worked their bollocks off. You know, Tarkowski was immense. Connor Cody was excellent. Awobi, when he had to go to the right wing back, was excellent as well. So the whole team worked hard, and even when we had to make subs, even when we had to make the subs, and obviously Tom Davis had to come on for Ghana, which I thought was a bit of a strange one. But obviously Decore having to come on, and Dom going off, which I'm sure was pre-planned, but we'd only just got it back to 1-1, and him having to go off at that moment. I thought the other subs were spot on. I thought taking Nathan Patterson off on a booking was the right thing to do. And yeah, Ben Godfrey going off at that moment with still being like 11 minutes left because of the injury time, because the referee couldn't sort his batteries out, was a hard one to take, because I thought he was excellent today, and obviously kicked hell out of Haaland early on, which seemed to really wind Haaland up. I mean, let's get it right. Haaland probably shouldn't have been on the pitch today. In the challenge on Michalenko, was out of control, and then the elbow on Tarkowski, even though he'd give a foul to Tarkowski, against Tarkowski, sorry, was an awful one. So I don't think he should have been on the pitch. He looked very frustrated. So it obviously, I know he scored, but it clearly done its job. When he hit him early on. But listen, as I said, you work hard. You work hard, and sometimes you get your rewards. And I think today everybody battled and chased and harried, and and we got our point, even though the referee was terrible and I was booking our players left, right, and centre for very, very little, and wasn't really, punishing their players or giving us fouls. Even towards the end, Mopai should have had a foul before he got the second foul. It was a clear foul on him. He was taken out and the game was played on. But we got over the line, and listen, we got a point, and that's all you can ask for when you go to somewhere like that. 11 when you're at 11 minutes on to the injury time. I know there was 11 minutes, and obviously the last time that happened, we I think it was Newcastle, wasn't it? And we got our win. But listen, something to build on at least, and I think maybe this is where Frank Lampard maybe goes back to the drawing board and looks at things. Having Dominic Calvert-Lewin back was brilliant, but of course I don't think any of us hold our breath with that. I think we all sit there thinking, yeah, he's played 70 minutes today, and that's brilliant now for Tuesday. If we can get him back, and listen, as I said, I say that with no hope whatsoever that he'll stay fit consistently. But having him back and maybe, gives you a different shape of a team. It gives you something to aim for. It gives you an outball. And I think if we go back to having some kind of defensive shape, I personally, if it's not going back to 5, which I don't necessarily think we should do, but I would play Ben Godfrey left back. I don't personally think Mykolenko's good enough. That's just my opinion. And I'd put Ben Godfrey in at left back, because I think we saw late on there when he picked the ball up and he head down and he just charged down the line. The lad has got the pace and he's got the strength to get up and down the pitch. I think he's no worse a defender than Mykolenko, and I think Mykolenko offers you nothing in the final third. So I would go with that. I think what happens is if you go with a 3, the problem is if you go with a 3 at the back, it always ends up as a 5. Always ends up a 5, and that's fine on a game like today. But a game like maybe not Tuesday, because Brighton are actually a decent team. But maybe against Southampton, where you have to win. And he brings passion and desire as well, Godfrey. He brings more than just, he's got aggression. He gets up and down. I don't think he's ready to play in the 2, but I do think he offers you something, and I'm not quite ready to go to a 3 either, as I said. I think it just goes to a 5. Personally, I'd put him in for Mykolenko. I just don't think Mykolenko's good enough. I don't think he offers enough in the final third, and I think he's quite passive. Some of his passing's is awful as well. So, but it's lovely to finish the year, a terrible year, on a positive, and going to Man City and getting a point is a positive. Do you know what I mean? It really, really is. We'd have all taken a point. We'd have all taken that goal as well, because it was an incredible goal. So delighted with that. Delighted with that. Of course, the disappointment is Onana picked up a yellow card, and he'll be out of the game on Tuesday. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. Well, that's for Tuesday. The manager might bring Decore in. He might bring Tom Davis in. I don't know. Might be a good time for Onana. I'll say a good time for a break. He went to World Cup, didn't he? So, but it might be a good time for him to have a little bit of a break. Go out the side. Take a little step back. Not that you'd want him to go out the side, but so you'd imagine maybe Decore had come in, but. Oh, and that's only because of the physical stature. But anyway, we'll deal with that. That's for the manager to deal with. But as I said, today, can't take anything away from the players. The desire and hunger was there all game. And I think what I liked as well is at 1-0. I think at 1-0, they dug in and made sure. That we didn't go further behind. I actually think the stoppage in the second half helped us. I think it helped us a lot. That stoppage, it broke up the play, and I know it was horrible that last 11 minutes. But that broke up their momentum. There you go. As I said, people have different views. I just don't think Mykolenko's good enough, personally. I've never really felt he was good enough, and I just think that's my opinion. If you have a different opinion, that's fine. I just think that what Ben Godfrey offers you, certainly as a left-back, is the ability to... He's a better defender. He's more physical. He's got more pace. He's got more aggression. Is he any good in the final third? No, but neither does Mykolenko. That's just my opinion. And instead of going to three at the back, which, as I said, just ends up as a 5, I'd keep him in there at left back. It's not about the shape at all. Mykolenko is a fullback. He's supposed to get forward. So is Patterson. It's got nothing to do with the shape. That's just nonsense. There's no such thing as defensive fullbacks anymore. Fullbacks are supposed to bomb on and give you your width so your wide men can tuck in inside and allow your middle three to sit and protect, like Liverpool. Listen, I don't care how young Mykolenko is. If he's not good enough right now, I hate this thing of like the young, let them develop. Everton are a team in the bottom half of the table. We don't have time to allow loads of players to develop. We just don't. Because this is what you end up with, a team that isn't very good. You've got to have players in there who are ready to play right now. And that's why I'd have Ben Godfrey in there at left back. Is Ben Godfrey not a young player? Does he not have to develop? Is he not somebody that needs to play? So would you have him in instead of Connor Cody or Tarkowski? So that's, to me, all I'm saying is I'd have Ben Godfrey in at left back. Simple as that. That's just my opinion. And that's not, again, you get so personal about people. It's about what is the best for Everton. What is the best team for Everton? What is the best setup for Everton? What wins us games of football? It doesn't matter whether you like people, don't like them. It doesn't matter. It's what wins us games of football. It's what stops the manager from getting sacked and Everton getting relegated. Does anyone, Anthony Gordon's nowhere near the side today. Does anyone care? Does anyone care? No one cares. Ped, why do you want us to do anything different than what we just did? Because we won't be playing Man City every week. We don't need, in games, we won't need 5. Listen to what I'm saying. If you have 3 at the back, it becomes 5. We don't need to be 5. And I like Ben Godfrey. Other people might like Ben Godfrey. Other people might like Mykolenko more. I like Ben Godfrey. I'd have him at left back. Would I have him at centre back? No. I'd have Ben Godfrey because he's aggressive. And he is fast and he's aggressive. So that's why I'd have him in at left back. Simple as that. I think he's a better left back than Mykolenko. It's my opinion. He offers us more than what we need. And actually then, when you're attacking, you can go into a 3 if you want to. That's just my opinion. And the manager will probably have a completely different opinion. And as I said, this is just my opinion. But I'd have him. And the manager might have a different opinion. It just depends on how he wants to play. We can't play with 5 at the back all the time. But today we showed that when we've got backs against the wall, we can dig in. And that's what got us through last season. So that's maybe where the manager's got to look at it and think, do I change something? Do I go, do I start playing a little bit more defensively? Do we go back to a little bit more to what we did last season towards the end of the season and stop losing games? We'll wait and see. But what I would say is the away support today, amazing again. And they got a little bit of a reward for backing the club as much as they do. So, listen, it's a good point. Well, it's not a good point. It's a great point. And we'll move on. And Tuesday night, with a home opportunity to get 3 points, even though even though it's a tough game. Very, very tough game. We'll have to wait and see. But there you go. There you go. It's an interesting debate. Some people like Mykolenko. I personally don't think he's that good. Personally, that's just my opinion. And I think Ben Godfrey gives us an opportunity to have another defender in there with pace, which is I think something we've been missing, and a bit of power. Let me know your thoughts. Ben Godfrey, you keep him in the side, so where'd you keep him? Do you go to a 3 at the back? Fine, go to a 3 at the back. Then we have wing backs. Fine. Do you keep something similar to what we have today? Do you go with the same thing? Do we start playing counter-attacking football? Is that something we look at now? Do we try and just start playing on the counter-attack? Who knows? The manager may have been given food for thought on a few players today, with not having obviously Anthony Gordon in the side, with not having McNeil in the side. Let me know. Listen, do you know what, right? It's dead weird when you do live shows when people criticise you for not liking someone. I know. I don't think Mykolenko's a very good left back. That's my opinion. It's the same way I don't think Dwight McNeil's a very good footballer, and I don't think Neil Maupay's a very good player. They're just my opinions. Whether you have different opinions, that's fine. That is fine. I don't care. You have your opinions, I have my opinions. Like, you don't need to fall out or have a go at anyone about it. You can just go and just say why you like your opinion and why you think something. There you go. Be interesting. But we have to replace Onana on Tuesday night against Brighton. If we could get 3 points against Brighton, if, and that's a huge if. Be huge. Be huge. Because if you'd probably said, can we get 4 points out of City, Wolves, and Brighton, I think most people might have gone, yeah, that's not terrible. That isn't terrible. Because if we'd said 7 points out of the 4 games, I think Gavin, just on Gavin Cunningham, just in the comments there, just about Tom Davies. Did Tom Davies come on today? Did he come on today? Did he replace Garner? I think he did, didn't he? I think he came on today, didn't he? I think he came on. Yeah, I think he came on. I think he played in the game today. So there you go. Can't be that bad, can he? Can't be that bad. There you go. And actually what I said was that people love giving Tom Davies grief when he plays poorly, but never give him any credit when he plays well. So, there you go. There you go. It's all about opinions. We have got 3 points. I wish. We've got a point. Feels like 3 points, doesn't it? We've got a point against... he did come on the 78th minute, which means he played 25 minutes. There you go. We get a point against Manchester City. Good stuff. Right. There you go. I'll be back to do my player ratings in a little minute. Make sure to check out Baz's videos as well. Whenever he gets around to do them. Anyway, there you go. Thank you for watching. It's a good point. And we move on to the Brighton game. I'll be back very, very soon, my player ratings. See you later.